Miami 24, Ohio State 14. Holy crap, what did we just watch? Live reaction show here on the College Sports Crew YouTube channel. I am Chris. You got Coach Pops. We got our new addition, the man Jamal. Fellas, what a game.
What a game.
Oh
What
yeah,
a,
man. That was grown. That was grown man football right there, big guy.
hey, listen, I was just talking to Chris. I was telling him, like, this game was more about Miami than it was Ohio State.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you, man. Miami jumped out. The biggest thing they did to me is, man, they got Ohio State off rhythm, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And there was points there in the third and fourth quarter. I thought Ohio State was going to get back in rhythm, but not. Situational football on Miami's part caught up, and they did a hell of a job. Hats off. But that was grown man football going on that field on both defenses. I have to give both teams credit.
It was. It felt like. It just to me, it felt like Miami was the more physically dominating team. They came to play. Jamal, what was your biggest takeaway on the Miami side of things?
There's a lot to dive into here, like rightfully so. My biggest takeaway from this game was really what made me confident about Miami and the Texas A&M game. Pops, I know we kind of had our talks in the chat when Miami was playing A&M, but my biggest thing proved to be right, and was that Miami's front, especially defensive front, I don't know if any offensive line group in the playoffs can block them, if I'm being completely honest.
You know what, Jamal? I had to give you credit on that. You called that, and yes, sir. Yes, sir. Saw it tonight. Yes, sir.
I told our group chat that before the game, I was like, as a Georgia fan, I was like, I kind of want to play Miami. And then mid game, I was like, okay, I'm kind of pulling for Ohio State to pull this off.
Hey, Chris, I need you to do me a favor real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to read Pops what I texted you before the game.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Let's see. You said before the game. Let's see.
It was a direct message on Twitter.
Throwing this on record, if Miami gets over 2.5 sacks and a turnover, they will win.
Oh yeah,
Pops,
I can see.
Pops, they had 2 sacks and a pick 6 in the first half. It was over.
Yeah. That pick 6 right there, I was like, that's over. It's over right there. That was Scott's. He returned that for a touchdown. But and the defense, man, they had that 160-yard play there. I think it was in the first half. But other than that, they limited everything. But and what was crazy, and Jamal, I got to give you credit. The defensive line for Miami, they didn't do anything crazy, man. They just lined up and went good on good and beat their ass on that offensive line. That's all you can say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to give a quick shout out to Miami defensive coordinator, Coach Corey Heatherman. So those who have followed me personally know I played football FCS level, University of Maine. He was actually a defensive coach for the University of Maine a couple years ago, way after I had been there. But I always like to follow coaches in their journeys. He ended up going to Minnesota, UConn, Minnesota, and now down here to Miami. And I'll tell you what, he was in his bag early. And the reason I say that is because when you think about Ohio State and the teams that they played over the year, or over the season, right? The teams that had good defenses, or at least were thought to have good defenses going into the game, you think about Texas, you think about Indiana. Between those two teams, put up a combined 24 points or something like that.
Right.
So it's always been a low-scoring game. But what he did, and he kind of took it from what Indiana was doing, is he really attacked the interior of Ohio State's front, right? Because if you watch that Indiana game, you notice that the right side of that O-line was getting dogged all game by Indiana in the Big Ten championship. So what he did was he followed blueprint. The first third down, right, where they get to pin their ears back and rush the passer, he lines Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor on the same side, and they do a TE stunt, basically, crossing face, one attacks the outside leverage of attack the guard, and one attacks the outside shoulder of the tackle by crossing. And Ruben Bain gets the sack. And you kind of saw like they were going to pick on 58 and 51 the entire game. 58 actually got benched in the second half. Like that front literally, like they didn't even do anything special like on the back end. The front just ate the whole game. And as you can see, second half, you started to see more of the interior guys start getting their feet wet as well too.
Yep, absolutely agree. And the only time they ever did get the back end, it was so situational and it was so good. I believe it was the safety or the number 8 when they called that one blitz there. I mean, it was perfectly timed, and that was really, dude. It honestly, that was good on good. And it was the trenches. They dominated the trenches. Miami's defensive line, hats off. That, and I've been saying this since playoffs started. I've been impressed with Alabama, and I talked to Chris today, and I was like, man, I think Miami's going to win this just because defense, offense will win you games, but defense wins you championships, brother. And defense stood up today for Miami.
Yeah,
I want to ask both of you guys. I've been kind of fighting against it, but just for the viewers to know, because we got a lot of people, Coach Pop, he coached in the SEC a little bit. And as Jamal mentioned, he's played at the FCS level. So 2 very experienced guys, 2 guys that I would lean heavy on when it comes to anything X and O's or anything football wise. Do you think this game had anything to do with the whole bye week thing? How much did that hurt Ohio State? We'll go Pops first, and then we'll go Jamal.
Well, I'll say this. I kind of said this with Oregon. Miami had their tune-up game, but it really wasn't a tune-up. They were playing at Kyle Field, which that's a tough place to play. It was crappy conditions there, wind-wise, so they got that under them. But you know what? It's the college football playoffs, man. If you're not getting up for that, then you need to hit the portal. You need to hit something. I said that with everybody, everybody else. This is national championship football right here. Man, and what I saw, I mean, they were laying the wood on each other, so they were up for it. It just the better team won right here. The better defense won this game right here, and that's my take on it. Just my quick take.
Yeah,
Jamal, what you think?
Yeah, I would say this. I would say last year the bye week, you could even though teams who get the bye are 0-5 as of right now, I would say last year you could kind of play around with that. I would say this year, and specifically for this particular matchup, you can argue going into this game that Miami was not a good matchup for Ohio State. Because this game, to be honest, I don't think it really had anything to do with the bye week. I just think Miami was the better team. Like Ohio State, if I would have told you Ohio State's defense gave up 17 points, and only because they gave up that last touchdown, they gave up 10 points for 3 quarters and lost. Like this is a team that averages 8 points a game. They didn't give up more than 16 points throughout the whole season. But Miami offensively, the way Miami won the game was they won first down. If you watch this game, they were averaging 4, 5, 6 yards a pop on first down. That has nothing to do with the bye week. That's just that. In the words of Chris, that's BTA, right? That's BTA all the way, right? Belt the ass if you're living under a rock. So, to be honest, the bye week theory. Let me see how tomorrow pans out. I don't think this game had anything to do with the bye week. I just thought Miami was the better team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh, well, no, I was just gonna say I agree. I think Miami was just a better team. Period. I think I said this in our group chat with Pops, which we need to get our boy Jamal on our text group chat. And I was telling the guys in the group chat, I was like, I wish that I didn't fall into the group think, because I think that if you really were paying attention to Ohio State this season, you could see the weaknesses in them in some games. I had mentioned this in our text. Texas and Indiana, the 2 best teams they played all year, and they had a combined 24 points in both games. I had seen Ohio State fans mention in a couple of games this year the offensive line was a weakness. and it was kind of hidden by the schedule. So and then today and against Indiana, man, that offensive line got ate up alive the last two games.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it, man, total yards 332 by Ohio State, 291 by Miami. But this is 153 yards rushing by Miami, 45 by Ohio State. Third down efficiency key here. 7 out of 14 for Miami. That's 50%. 3 out of 10 for Ohio State. Dude, third down, you don't get off the field on third down, I mean, you're not going to win a game. I mean, your defense is going to get tired at the time. And 50% of those times, brother, they were having to stay on that field. And then they gave up 5 sacks. And today you got to establish a run to help staying out. And that just didn't happen. And the thing that got me the most is like Jamal, they didn't do anything special. Oh. Nothing was special. Like no twists, no stunts. There was one where they looped around. They got twist, looped around, came at the middle right there. But that was at the first of the game. I think at that point, the defensive coordinator realized we don't got to do anything special. We're better than them on the in the trenches. And I think he just said, hey, boys, go out there. Let's man up. Let's win this. That's what it looked like to me on paper out there. The game I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would say this, like, I think Ohio State should have switched their game plan. I think if they would have started the game the way they started the second half, it could have been a different outcome, because you saw Julian Saint get into a rhythm once the run game started going, right? Once Bo Jackson started getting things rolling. And I think earlier in the game, maybe he was a little too pass happy. Maybe Carnell Tate really didn't get involved enough. Like, Ohio State's other weapons, in which that was a strength of their team in this game, where the matchup was similar to the Big Ten championship, really didn't get utilized as much as they could have, right? If you know the receivers or your skill positions are the strength, get them the ball early in space, right? Get it to them quick and often, right? Give Julian easy throws, screen throws, rockets, tunnels, bubbles, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't understand. Why they didn't throw tunnels. Middle screen was there all day, and why you're not throwing slants. That could have happened and could have at least alleviated a little bit of that pressure on him, and I didn't even see that. And then the one play that he did have was right after he had that. I think it was right after the timeout, the 60-yard. He checked out of the play that was called and called that because he saw something, and that's not even Ryan Day called that play. That was on Sayin that called that play.
Yeah, and it just felt like it was Jeremiah Smith or bust, at least in the passing game. Like,
yes,
put it like this: 2 years ago, Texas went to Ann Arbor to play Michigan. It was Sarkisian versus I think it was Sharon Moore's first year up there, and they had Mason Graham on the front. They had a hell of a D line, right? What Sark did was he made those guys run sideline to sideline, right? Granted, Michigan didn't have the weapons like Ohio State does, but when you know you're going up against a D line that literally has the top 2 defensive ends coming out in this year's draft, you got to make those boys run, right? And they started to do that during their 2-minute, but that's like their 2-minute drill, right? Maybe they should have went more tempo early. I don't know, but anytime I think you're playing a defensive line that aggressive, that fast, and is relying on the get off, you got to make those boys change direction.
Right. And I'll tell you what, that's hats off to Bain from Miami. My God, that dude, my God, that boy showed up at the right time, bro.
Yeah,
that dude's a freaking beast. Another thing that surprised me, because what I said in all of our shows, TikTok lives that I've done, I didn't think this right here that I'm highlighting on the screen. I did not think this was going to be possible. Fletcher hit 90 yards on 19 carries. Yeah. I thought that it was going to come down to Carson Beck. And he had a hell of a game. 19 carries, 90 yards. That was the most shocking thing to me because I thought, I did think Ohio State's offense was a little overrated. I thought Ohio State's offense could get especially after the Indiana game. But I was pretty confident that they were not going to let Fletcher get very many yards. But he had 90 yards, guys.
Yeah, so I would credit to that to again Miami being able to play ahead of the sticks literally 90% of the game. Like I'm telling you, when you go back and watch the highlights and you watch the amount of yards these guys are getting on first down, it's like going to Europe and looking at a Picasso painting. It's like how where they're finding matchups all across the field, and when you look at it like and watch like how they're getting this many yards, whether it's a pass or a run. Patricia played an odd front in that first half. So odd front, three down linemen. He was basically playing 3-3-5. The the offensive linemen for Miami were literally getting up to that second level so fast that that by the time you're able to get to the running back, he's already 3-4 yards, down the field, right? And obviously in the second half, he went more into a bare front nose tackle over the center, caused a little bit more
Yep.
issues. But my this goes back to Miami. Like they were the better matchup, offensive line, defensive line, and they had the veteran quarterback. And Chris, like I said, I think it was on Sweet Tea. I was like, if Carson Beck plays like a veteran quarterback, Miami's gonna have a chance.
Yeah,
Right.
and I thought Carson Beck played well. Pops, I'll let you go, but I thought Carson Beck played really well. I mean, his stats not eye popping, but I thought
He
he
was,
made some
he was
really good
effective
plays.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he made some situational, like that one pass he made on the third down play, got the first down. But the one thing that I did see, and Jamal, jump in here. You can tell me if at the beginning of the second half, they went to a 12 personnel, two tight ends blocking, and it was effective. But they
Yeah,
got away from it, man. I was like, oh hell, they figured it out. They got two tight ends out there doing their thing. And they were making some yards, but then they kind of got away from it. And I don't know why.
that's honestly that's just Ryan Day not sticking to or being
mhm,
patient enough. He had time, like he had
Yeah, he
time
did.
to play it out in regards to like they were moving the rock the whole second half. I'm pretty sure he didn't think that once Miami got the ball with about 4 minutes and some change left that they would control the rest of the game, but obviously, when you had two tight ends in the game, one that extends the edges, right, makes it harder for
Right.
Mesidor and Bain to come off the edges. But two, you get additional blockers out there. So, and that's why, and that's how Miami's interior guys started getting more love because Bain and Mesidor, you know, were becoming almost a non-factor until they had to make plays in which they did. But yeah, I don't know why they went away from 12 personnel. I mean, Carnell Tate wasn't really involved. Ennis wasn't really involved. Like the run game was working and Jeremiah Smith was working. I mean, if anything, I think he should have went under center more with Julian saying and a little bit more play action.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because but and then he would move his two tight ends out, and you know what? When they did that, I noticed Miami did not adjust when they got two tight ends on the edge out there. They didn't adjust. They had their cornerback, no safety came down. I was just like, man, they can run this all day, get 8 yards of play. But then he got away from it, and I was kind of like, well, that. But then and at the end, like you said, Miami they ran the ball, and at the end there, that 4 minutes when they started running, you could just say, okay, their defense, Ohio State's defense is done. They're tired. They they
Yeah,
they were done.
yeah.
mhm.
Miami was controlling the clock the whole game, and Ryan Day really saved Cristobal, right? Because
Yeah,
him going away from 12 personnel, the biggest question going into Miami in big games is like, oh, Cristobal's
mhm.
just gonna mess this one up again, right? Can we trust
Oh,
Cristobal, right? All right. And I kind of mentioned this on the show, the sideline. Um, you know, when do you get to a point where you just have blind trust, right? Because
yeah.
your significant other, you didn't trust them right off the bat, right? They had to earn your trust. So I felt like Chris Paul was at that position. Was like, all right, I'm gonna give him my trust for this game. I think he's earned my trust going forward, right? And you can see that if Ryan Day still would have went 12 personnel and kept the things rolling, right? And Chris Ball really didn't make any changes, and he still hasn't, right? We would have been saying like, oh, there's Chris Ball not adjusting to 12 personnel or how to defend it or what was going on next. So,
Right.
man, it was a hell of a game for sure, though, man.
Oh,
Yeah. I
absolutely.
want to ask this before we close out here in a minute. Here in a second. Couple of things, and then we'll close out. Are we now done? Because I've been the biggest critic of Mario Cristobal. I've been his biggest critic. I have yelled from the mountaintops that he chokes in these moments. I picked him to lose against the Aggies because that's what he does. He chokes, clock management. He's now beat the Aggies. He's now beat Ohio State, the perceived favorite to win it all. Are we done now? We got to give the man credit, right?
I think you got
Jamal, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think you got to, and not just like the recent 2 wins, but like since he's got to Miami, they've improved every year, despite all the random, crazy, stupid losses he has during the season. Right, losing to Cal, losing to Louisville, losing to SMU, like losing the games he shouldn't lose to. Despite all those losses, right? Not only does he make the playoff, not only does he fix his defensive issues, right? Last year they were a defensive mess. This year, new D coordinator, they look amazing. But he wins 2 road games. Not to mention he beats everyone's allegedly #1 team. Despite losing to Indiana, everyone still almost had Ohio State winning the whole thing. And he doesn't just beat them. In the words of Chris, that was a PTA. So I think you got it. I think that's a theory that we could put to the side now because he's proven it, regardless of what happens next week, that he can win these games.
Yeah. I have to agree. I have to agree. He went into Kyle Field, and I didn't think they were going to come out without a win, and they did. And then this right here, by what I saw, they had given up 3 points in the last 2 games before this right here. You know what? And Chris, you know me, and Jamal, you'll know me. I'm a big believer. Defense wins championships.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? That defense showed up. They showed out, and you know what? You're right. Ron Day kind of bailed him out, getting away from the 12 personnel, because I was like, this guy's not going to adjust. He's not going to adjust. Yeah. Or I was getting nervous he was going to get conservative too early. But then, that 4 minute, within that last 4 minutes, he just ran the damn ball because he's like, my team's going to it's going to put that belt to ass, as Chris says. And he leaned on him, and you know what? Hats off to him. It was a good win. Hell, and I'll be honest, I was at the Oregon JMU, but this game right here, hands down, of all of them, best game so far of the college football playoff.
Oh yeah.
And then tomorrow we got to hear Notre Dame going, we to beat them 70-0. So
no. Notre Dame fans are real quiet right now. I've not heard a peep from our Notre Dame people. They are awfully quiet right now. Man, guys, this was awesome. Hey, we have a lot of viewers right now. Guys, please go hit the sub button on College Sports Crew on YouTube. The people in the chat, a lot of y'all came from TikTok. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Thank y'all for subscribing. Me, Chris, I host 2 shows. We Talk Ball, Sweet Tea in the SEC. My guy Shaun's got the Veteran Sports Voice podcast, which is an amazing show led by veterans. Jamal just started. His first episode dropped today.
That's right. Welcome, Jamal.
Appreciate it. Officially joined the squad every Wednesday, the sideline, a college sports show, just a washed up athlete with a mic talking ball.
And I love this instant reaction because I tell people on TikTok, I'm just the idiot with the mic. These 2 guys are the X&O experts. They have played the game, coached the game. So you're going to get a lot of cool stuff on our channel. You'll get me, the talking head, that's going to just give you hot takes and say crazy things. And then you can go listen to Shaun and Jamal give you more rational takes and from the X and O's and stuff like that. So, man, we appreciate everybody. Do y'all have any closing thought? Hey, how about this? Which game would you look forward to the most? Georgia, Miami, or Ole Miss, Miami?
Damn, that's a good one.
I like both of them.
Man, being an SEC guy, I don't think Georgia can. I don't think that D line. I think that D line would obliterate Ole Miss. I think Georgia's the only one that got checked, but it's the only one that's got that's the game. But guys, I'm telling you right now, this game right here. You know what? The game that intrigues me with this is that Alabama Indiana game right now because that's like I said, defense and me personally, y'all, I'll put it out here right now. I think Alabama's D line, their whole defense is peaking right now at the right time. That's me. And you know what? Let's see what happens. We'll know tomorrow. But you know what? And Dalton Smith, I see your comment. Man, is the U back? Is the U back? I don't know. It sure looks that way, baby.
Hey, do y'all see this comment? I don't know if y'all get this comment, but he's from TikTok. Do you know what they call Carson Beck, right? Have you seen? Yeah, Jamal gets it. Jamal gets it.
I forgot his name, but it's the long neck furry looking thing.
Sid.
Sid.
Yeah. So he's saying Ice Age 3 and Return of the Dogs.
You know what? Hey, that's a matchup though. Miami, Georgia, Carson Beck's Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, I think I would take Miami, Georgia, just because I think Miami and Georgia are. Well, we gotta see how it plays out tomorrow, but I think Miami versus Miami plays into the strengths of Miami's defense, right?
Yeah.
If you're just gonna pass the ball the whole game, like ask Ohio State how that happened, giving up 5 sacks. So
right, exactly, and they didn't do nothing special to get those 5 sacks either.
No,
not a damn thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was just it was just man on man. All right, man. We Jamal's on the road and Pops is old and got to get to bed. And I'm old too. I got to get to bed.
Happy New Year's, fellas. Happy New Year's. Y'all be safe where you at. And hey, Chris, tell me something. Where they got to go to subscribe to us, baby?
College Sports Crew, capital C, capital S, capital C. And me and Austin, I think, and maybe Pops, will be live tomorrow night. I know me and Austin will be live Friday night if we don't go live tomorrow night. So, y'all tune in, man, and Happy New Year's, and thank y'all. Peace out.
Let's
Take
go.
care.